Nice guys, aren't they the best? So I decided to go on Reddit, big mistake. And I went to r/niceguys. Because honestly, it's just a content gold farm. And it's the conversations on there are hilarious. Anyway, I found this conversation here that is an 18-year-old hitting on a mother, like a woman who has a child. So he starts off with, hey, I'm an 18-year-old from Liverpool. Would you be up for chatting? She says, no, you're basically a kid in my eyes. You're closer to my oldest child's age than mine. Have a good one. So immediately it's like, ooh, this probably isn't like a great situation here. And then he says, I understand. Take care. So, he seems chill. He seems respectful. He's like, oh, I understand. Yeah, I see the situation here. It's okay. Take care. And then he decides to come back like 20 minutes later and say, I know you said I'm like a kid in your eyes, but hardly anyone responds to me on here. Would you mind if I showed you my... I'm a bit self-conscious about it and I'm into older women. It's fine if not. Like I said, I understand. Why would she possibly want to see that? Why would you offer that? And so she says, yo, what the heck, dude? Yes, I mind. You were almost respectable. If I said I consider you a child, why would I want to see your genitals? And he says, but I'm not a child. I literally didn't pressure you into anything. I only asked a question. Yeah, technically by law, he's not a child. But this woman, he's closer to her oldest son's age than he is to the woman here. So she says, rightfully so, you are a teenager. That is a child in my eyes. You are barely older than my oldest child. So I guess her oldest child is maybe, 16, 17? And she says, you asking women to show your is weird and gross. That is why you aren't getting responses. So he says, I'm not a teenager. And she says 18. How is 18, literally having the word teen in it, not a teenager? And so he immediately goes in the offensive. And he goes, are you slow? I don't fancy arguing with you. I literally asked a question in a way I thought was respectful, and you could have just ignored me or declined. And so she responds with, are you? Referring to the are you slow comment. He says, good job I'm not a yank then, isn't it? And she says, literally what? and then he goes, literally only... He says, literally only trying to have a wank, and I'm getting lectured by a grown woman. God, I wonder why. It's like you literally just asked this fully grown adult woman with a kid that's basically your age if she wanted to see your, balls, bro. What are you on about? And she says yes, because there's a thing called not harassing random women and pretending it's because you're self-conscious about it. If you were self-conscious about that, why would you want to show more people? I don't see the vision there, but sure, I guess. Anyway, he says, harassing, I asked you a question. I told you it's fine if you weren't interested. And now you're taking time out of your day to try and belittle me by calling me a teenager? You make no sense whatsoever. And apologize if doesn't do the job for me. My brother in Christ. Dude. I'm at a loss for words. She says, lol, I wasn't interested in talking to you. I set a boundary. You continued to try and talk to me. And not only that, but sexually. Calling someone a teenager when it is what they literally are is not belittling. Would you think calling someone an adult who is indeed an adult also belittling? If you think saying no and setting boundaries makes no sense, that's a you problem. Thanks for the content to post in a few subs, though. So she's tearing this guy apart. She's like, I'm going to post you on Reddit, and it's... Thank you for that. And now I'm going to post a video about this conversation. So, hopefully it's going to reach even more people, which my dude, why? And so he proceeds to say strange person. He's not the person who offered as an 18-year-old to send this fully grown adult mom with a kid basically his age. If she wanted to see his, it's strange person. My brother in Christ, that is you. She says, yes, I'm strange because I don't want to see a teenager's. I'm definitely the strange one here. Heck yeah, dude, go off. He says, it didn't say you were strange for that. As I've said continuously, I was fine with you declining, but you're going out of your way to make me feel like I'm a villain. I asked in a way which I deem respectful, and if you've inferred it in any other way, then I can only apologize. But you're acting a bit mature by saying you're going to post this conversation you've had with a teenager, quote unquote, a teenager. So this guy just sounds like a broken record here. He's again like, yeah, why are you trying to like villainize me? And it's like, God, my dude, you didn't have to continue. She literally said, I'm not interested. At the beginning, she was like, I'm not interested. You are, in my eyes, a fetus. And then he proceeds to say, and then he says, I asked in a way which I deemed respectful. Oh, you deemed it respectful? There are a few things that are like more disrespectful than like doing what this guy did. Like the things that I can think of off the top of my head, actually just straight up sending it, which I mean, props to him, he didn't do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had at some other point. Calling them like a slur or something, and then like, I don't even know, like insulting like some dead like relative or something. But it's like, how are you gonna say that like you weren't being disrespectful? Huh? So she proceeds to say, asking a stranger to show them your is not respectful. What is immature is not accepting my initial answer of no. I'm posting this so others can have a laugh. Either get a sex worker or watch and stop messaging random women to try and use them for your own gratification. And so he decides to hit her with like the dad move. Like, how do you respond to that with just a thumbs up? Like, you can tell that he's just like totally defeated. And so she just ends this off by saying, blocking you now, have a day at 9:26 at night. I mean, yeah, no, like what else do you need to see? Like, how are you gonna act like this and like claim that you're speaking like respectfully? You cannot be serious. I would not be surprised if this was satire. I don't see how someone can be so like delusional. You're like, yeah, it's a kid. It's an 18-year-old, sure. But like, I mean, come on. You have to like know at some point like what you're doing is kind of weird, right? The fact that he's like, oh, I'm self-conscious about it. Why would you want to show that to someone, dude? But yeah, so it's just at the end of the day, it's another r/niceguys incident. I do hope that you enjoyed the video, and I would really appreciate it if you liked or even subscribed. I haven't uploaded in a while because, you know, school and everything else starting back up, but I do want to get back into it more because I do enjoy making these videos. And yeah, if you subscribe, you know, hit the notification bell. I mean, it would help out a ton in general, but also you would know if whenever I upload a new video. Go check out my other videos. They're gonna be somewhere up on screen. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you later. Bye bye.